do this.
Let's do this. All right.
Go. Let's do this.
All right. So,
Much better.
all right. Welcome back again. Doc Talk 360. This is Holiday Edition 2021. We're rounding out the year, almost to the new year this year. Let's talk about innovations of 2021. Even though it was an up and down year for most people, this was a huge innovation year for science, right? So we took this article from Popular Science and let's detail, out of this article, they had about 10 for healthcare. Let's detail 5 of those, have a couple honorable mentions, and then you can read the article later and we have the link attached to this video. First one is none other than COVID-19 vaccines, mRNA vaccines. Why are these a positive?
I mean, this is amazing technology. We know that COVID came and just broke through the entire world, and we have this amazing mRNA vaccine that can not only, 1, decrease hospitalizations, but 2, has also saved lives also too. It has been accessible. It has been a vast production across the world, and it literally is changing the way this pandemic has hit the entire world. And it's been amazing just to see this vaccine help so many people.
Absolutely. It completely changes what we think and how long the process of vaccine manufacturing has become, right? This used to be a 10-year process. Now that we're showing that this can be actually a 1 to 3 year process if we remove some of the red tape. So I think the future looks like we need to figure out how do we take the same system that we used in the pandemic and place this overall globally on the rest of the vaccine manufacturing, right?
Yeah.
So second,
so we have also too. So very cool technology. Intelia has actually used the CRISPR gene, right, to actually literally put to go into someone's body and actually change a disease in tissue. I mean, how cool is that? What do you think about that?
Yeah, CRISPR is brand new as far as science goes, right? So it's a few years old. Just simply, you can edit out a gene. If we're talking about a problem that is caused by a malfunctioning gene, take that gene, remove it, throw it away.
Right, so cool.
Replace a new gene there that actually works.
Done. Yeah, I think they started doing this maybe back in 2012.
Yep.
They started this, but it's amazing now. Before it was all just like blood-borne diseases, but this is a difference because this is actually a disease in tissue.
Disease in tissue. It's a liver disease. So this has a huge door that we can walk through. You know, the right way, the wrong way.
Right.
Hopefully we take the right way on this one.
Exactly. Imagine
Absolutely.
the future. Imagine the future.
Imagine the future. The next one. This one's very interesting,
Yes.
right? This is an ACL implant.
Yes, very cool.
An ACL implant.
Very cool, right? I mean, think about it. So we know
What's
that,
the ACL?
So I was going to say. So first, what is the ACL, right? So we know that the ACL is a structure in the knee, right, that goes diagonally across from front to back, okay, and it keeps your knee from basically sliding. It's like one of the biggest injuries and I was going to say
A career-ending, probably?
Yes, career-ending injury, exactly.
Right.
And people have all heard of ACL injuries. People have seen people and they all know it. Now, usually surgery is pretty complicated, right? You go in there and get some either other tissue or some kind of implant. This implant's amazing. It's from bovine, right? And which is what? A cow.
Yeah.
And this implant actually will be placed in the knee and then tissue grows on top of that. I mean, how cool is that?
It completely changes how we're going to approach fixing this injury, right? I think the question that lingers, if you're vegan, will you get this implant?
Exactly. Who knows? Right, exactly.
So the next one, let's move on.
Yeah.
Right? CT scans.
Imaging. Very cool. I mean, we know that CT scans are an important part of emergency rooms, many facilities.
Right.
They're kind of the quicker way to get pictures. Now, this company developed this really cool CT scan that actually counts the amount of photons that are shot through. I mean, before these CT scans, they've lost all this energy. Now we can focus it and make a purely digital image.
That is amazing because now instead of light going everywhere and us not being able to capture that energy to be able to see tissue, now we can with this technology,
Right.
that does a lot of different things. One, that can reduce radiation time because we don't have to re-CT somebody
Exactly.
if we actually can have a high definition CT scan.
Exactly.
So this will completely change the game for, I think, surgeries and emergency rooms going forward.
I wonder what the cost will be. I wonder if it will decrease the cost. I mean, the machine seems to be smaller. I think it seems to be more compact, but I wonder by making it more efficient, will that come down to the actual patient? Will they actually see the money?
I think it will. I think back to when we had computer mainframes, a whole room was just one computer. Now, this is a computer.
Exactly.
My phone is a computer.
Exactly.
Right?
That's awesome.
The CT scan may be this big.
Exactly. One day, just like Star Trek.
Exactly. All right. So moving on here. So now we have the most affordable insulin ever.
Huge.
This is huge, right? This is insulin glargine. A lot of people are on this that are diabetic. It's called Lantus, but this one by Semglee. This is called Semglee.
Yes. It's really cool because, this conversation happens all the time in America. We talk about affordable medications. And one of the most, one of the biggest diseases in America is diabetes. And people, as you can see, as we both see, can't afford their insulin, which is terrible. So this company makes this bioidentical drug that looks just like glargine and also makes it very affordable. So imagine the impact this is going to have on Americans and people in general who need insulin.
Right. Can we say no prior authorizations?
Right.
Because
Thank
wow.
you.
Oh man. I mean, docs and also patients in the same boat hate prior authorizations. Prior authorizations are something that takes so long to do. If this medication can stop us having to go through that process to put someone on medication that can control their sugars down to a point where they don't have to end up at the ER.
Right, huge changes.
Huge changes. I think we have 2 honorable mentions on here.
We do. Right. So we can't forget monoclonal antibodies. Regeneron made one specifically for Ebola. Pretty cool. Literally mimics your body's antibodies, which is great, right? So basically, you take the antibodies, the monoclonals, your body already has them inside to fight the disease. I mean, imagine in Ebola, which is a destructive disease, even if you can decrease it by 50%, right? And it's imagine the impact it's going to have in the world.
Absolutely. I mean, this will change a lot of the expenditures, especially continents like Africa that have multiple countries that deal with Ebola on a regular basis in and out. I think this will help them keep a control of that and be able to use that money for other things to be able to grow their economies other than just dealing with something like Ebola.
Exactly, it's very cool. Exactly.
So the last honorable mention is none other than malaria. Huge. The first vaccine for malaria.
Yes.
This is game changing.
I mean, for one, we know that. I mean, unfortunately, we have not been able to eradicate malaria, right? This has been around for years, killing people, and finally, a vaccine has arrived to help. Malaria, we know, is in a lot of third world poorer countries, and we always know that these places in the world always get the least amount of attention. So now we have this vaccine that can come in and help people who actually need it, and that's amazing.
This is amazing. So this list was great. We thank Popular Science for making this list, for bringing this to the forefront. I'm excited to see 2022's list, and going forward, because now that we have things like, a vaccine for malaria, Ebola, we're using new technology to eradicate it.
Which is huge, right?
mRNA is huge. So, where does this technology take us for other diseases going forward and other healthcare, difficult, complex topics? Thank you for joining us. This is Doc Talk 360. Holiday edition. We do have a special treat for you next week. We have a special episode of Doc Talk 360 for Christmas Eve. Make sure you tune in and love the video, love your holiday season, whatever holiday that you are celebrating. Happy holidays to you.
Happy Hanukkah, happy Christmas, everything. Happy Kwanzaa.
Until next year, we'll see you in 2022, and we'll be on most of the year.